All right, welcome back, True Seeker. I realize as I start, my camera's not up. That's okay. I meant to have the camera up, but it's all right. So, what I want to talk about is college football's back, and there was only one ranked game in college football, and something stood out about this game in a big way. It's why we thought the underdog Virginia Tech Hokies would take the game. They were the underdog at home, a 5.5-point dog, but man, did they ever have the riddle to win today. When you know how it's all rigged, it's not hard to see. Again, it's September 3rd, you guys. And this happened to be the 39th all-time meeting between these two teams on the date written 3/9. And guess what Virginia Tech's coach did tonight, Mr. Fuentes? He picked up his 39th win with Virginia Tech in the 39th meeting between Virginia Tech and North Carolina in the only ranked game on 3/9. And yesterday I put out the invite to join us for college football on Patreon. So far, off to a good start, and college football always gets a lot better as the season goes on because the riddles start getting easier to see once you get to about mid-season and beyond. But again, you just got to say, what are the odds? And that's exactly what I was presenting to people yesterday. You just got to say, what are the odds? There's only one ranked game on 3/9, and it happens to be the 39th meeting, and Virginia Tech's coach, who's at home as the underdog, can get his 39th win. Seems like a perfect way to start off the season, right? That's a good home start. And what's weird is the phrase home opener in gematria even equals 39. You know, common sports terminology, your first game at home of the season, the home opener. Home opener 39. So gets his 39th win with VT on 3/9 in the 39th meeting in the home opener. And again, if you guys think gematria is a joke, like last night, the only game that even had a halfway competitive line was the Minnesota-Ohio State game, and we thought Ohio State would take it because it's week 1 of the college football season. If you write out 1, it equals 34 with the alphabetic order, 47 with the reverse. Both of those numbers played in Ohio State's favor yesterday. By the way, Ohio is 47. But yesterday, Ohio State got their 34th win over Minnesota all-time when ranked, and they got their 47th win against Minnesota all-time. So if you don't follow college football, if you're a ranked team, if you're in the top 25, you're considered ranked. Yesterday, Ohio State beat Minnesota for the 47th time. And while ranked, as a ranked team, they got their 34th win all time. So that's why there's less than the 47, because in some of those games, they weren't ranked in some of the years. And what else is interesting is this is Ohio State's 110th football season. It begins against Minnesota. You know, the 110th season begins against Minnesota. This is the 152nd college football season. And in Utah's case, it began against Weber State. And I can't remember what Weber State's nickname is, but their full name equals 115, and it's Utah's 115th season. So they did some rituals like that last night, which we talked about. Thought all the favorites would win last night. There wasn't anything too exciting, but this is our first dog of the season that we liked. And again, this is how we pick games. And again, this stuff, it's not rocket science, you guys. But when you learn gematria, which is a very simple code of letters and numbers, when you learn this code, you see how the news is scripted along with the sports. And again, if you guys are new here, when I started this research, I wasn't looking into if games were rigged this way. It dawned on me that they were rigging the games this way because I noticed that the sports scars were the rituals with the sports were the same numbers I was documenting in the news for the day when I first started, the first year of doing this. It was not quite a year doing this where I was like, wow, they're doing the sports too this way. I was probably like 6 to 9 months into the study. But look at this, just to make a point. On March 9th, right? One of the big headlines today, the QAnon shaman, at the Capitol insurrection, as they call it. He pleaded guilty today for his events, and they say he's from Arizona, right? There's only 2 states out of the 50 states that have Gematria 39, New York and Arizona, the teams that played in the World Series right after 9/11. But Arizona 39, and the QAnon shaman, they say he's from Arizona, and his name is Jacob Chansley, and the way he spells Chansley with a S, 39, like Arizona. Alphabetic order, forwards and backwards, right? One of the big stories today in New Zealand, right? You had this terrorist attack. And by the way, I predicted that there'd be terrorism in the news today after the huge 93 ritual in Afghanistan. It was too predictable. Today's the anniversary of Osama bin Laden's father dying in a plane crash. If you missed all the work I did on this attack today on Gematria Effect News, check that out because there's a lot to it. But it's 903 days after the mosque shootings in New Zealand. The last time they were in the news for terrorism, 903 days later on 9/3. And it's 39 days after Jacinda Ardern's birthday, the leader of New Zealand, and her surname's 39. 3993. Notice it's also 129 weeks on the nose from the mosque shootings to today's terrorist attack blamed on radical Islam. It's 129 weeks later in the market that got shot. It equals 39, like how the date can be written 39 or 93, and countdown equals 129, like exactly 129 weeks later. So, again, you guys, I've consistently taught the same thing over the years. It doesn't switch up. It's a system. You learn the system. You take advantage of the rigging. You see through the matrix of bullshit. You don't get emotionally invested in the news. You don't get emotionally invested in the rigged politics. You don't get emotionally invested in the rigged games. They're rigged at the NCAA level. They're rigged at the professional level. That's how the lines are set so accurately. And again, I mean, it's lucrative to know this knowledge. Virginia was a nice payout tonight. They're a 5.5-point dog. That's a solid dog, you know. So anyway, I'll be doing it all college football season. If you want to wait a few weeks, join us next month. You know, that'll be the better time of the year. But even now, you can pick up on some nice riddles here and there, like Virginia Tech tonight. You know, I only charge $5 a month, and you get a ton of content. And I have been a little bit lazier the last week. I haven't done that much, but I told people I was taking a break because I'm finishing my third book. I'm almost done with it. I'm so close. And I wanted to be done by today, but I'm not quite done. That's pretty typical with me. Some days I get writer's block. And honestly, the middle of this week, I got disappointed because I got my book sale results. My book sale results come in 3 months later. It had been selling about 100 copies a month, which wasn't great, but it was better than what I got this month for the report. This book sold 6 copies in a month. That makes me sad, man. 6 copies. I mean, that's almost zero. That means almost 0 people in the world got the knowledge that the world needs right now to see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it's just so obvious, you guys. They do this every week of the college football season. They schedule games this way, and it's just like, how can you tell me it's not a ritual? The only game on 3-9 is the 39th all-time meeting where the Virginia Tech coach can pick up his 39th win, and he does. And for the record, sometimes they have a ritual like that, and it doesn't come through, and it makes you scratch your head a little bit, but you know what? They come through a lot more often than not, and that's the name of the game if you're gambling. To win the majority of your bets, which we always do in this community. And again, it's not rocket science, you guys. And it's very easy to see that exactly what I'm telling you is the facts. You know, today is nothing special. You know, with regards to ritual, today is the day leaving 119 days left in the year, September 3rd. 9/3, the day leaving 119 days left in the year. Think of the World Trade Centers with the 93 World Trade Center bombing. Think of September 11th, written 11/9 like 119. Remember, we assassinated Osama 119 weeks after Obama took office. But then today, Obama's vice president, who's now the president, and the big ritual that we said why Biden would be number 46 a year in advance. Catholic 46, the election 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. But again, Biden orders review and potential release of classified documents related to September 11th on today, the day leaving 119 days left in the year, 9/3, as we get terrorism in New Zealand. America and Jewish gematria is 129. You know, we're just days from the 20-year anniversary. And again, New York, where 9/11 happened, right? New York, 39 of the most pure, Empire 39. The Empire State, the 39 floors at the United Nations in New York. The establishment date of New York has 39 numerology. The first governor has the same birthday as New York, and his name was George 39, Clinton 39. You know, you had a Clinton in the White House when you had the 93 World Trade Center bombing, 39-93. Clinton's also 102, like how they said the 9/11 attack was 102 minutes, and they simulated it June 1st, 2001. Federal government simulated the 9/11 attack June 1st, 102 days before 9/11, with a document with Osama bin Laden's face on the cover. It was called Project Amalgam Virgo. Project Amalgam Virgo, September 11th. Or no, it's not. Hold on, it's not that then. It's not Project Amalgam Virgo. I'm using it's Amalgam Virgo, but it's not Project. What is it then? I thought it was Project. I should know this because I just wrote it down in a book. Operation, duh. It was Operation Amalgam Virgo. And see, this is how words matter. Operation Amalgam Virgo 119, you guys. Look this up. This is a real thing. June 1st, 2001, a simulation of attack just like 9/11. It's a government simulation, and the cover document is Osama bin Laden's face. And I always tell you, outside of these base ciphers, alphabetic order forwards and backwards, the cipher you got to know is Jewish. Remember, Al-Qaeda equals 102. Look up the History Channel documentary, 102 Minutes That Changed America. And remember, the Jesuits translated the text Art of War, which is 102. World Wars got the 102. First pandemic in 102 years. The World War on Germs. You know, what other wars are going to come out during this time? I'm telling you, they got bigger wars planned. They got the minds of the world prepped. That we're in the times of bad things coming. A lot of spiritual people think this is, revelation. They don't understand that that's a playbook given to us by the Society of Jesus, laying out their plans that they're executing by the biblical code. But, you guys don't think sports are scripted? We prove it every day, man. And people are paying bills because of it. So, and the reason I only charge $5 a month, see, here's what I want you to think about. There's a guy out there who calls himself Gary the Numbers Guy. He's got to go on his local Cleveland news. He made a website dedicated to attacking me. He used to call into my radio show and harass me every week. But Gary teaches the same thing I do. However, he charges people thousands of dollars, makes them sign a non-disclosure agreement, and then does a shittier job, a much shittier job. In the time I've been here, I've nailed a lot of things. Gary's only gotten one future right in the 8 years that I've been here, and it was the Cavs in 2016, but yours truly had it before the season began as well. So, and Gary, he humiliated him the year of the 2016 World Series. He had to take 10 mulligans on the World Series because he kept putting out his pick like to market himself, but he kept being wrong. He kept having to pick a new team. And, before that season began, I said why the Cubs would win the World Series, breaking the 108-year drought, Major League 108 double stitches. And before the season began, I thought they'd play Houston. I was a year off on Houston. Houston won the World Series the next year, which we called way before it happened. But when I realized it wasn't Houston that was going to face the Cubs, I knew it was the Cleveland Indians, and I explained why very clearly. I said, the Cubs will beat the Indians in Game 7 before the playoffs even began. Why it would be Cubs over Indians in Game 7 on November/2, November 2nd, in the 112th World Series, 112. Mathematics equals 112. Geometry equals 108. Major League 108. 108 double stitches on a baseball. 108 double stitches is 216 stitches. Cleveland's the 216 area code. And the film Major League was about the Cleveland Indians. And we've done it a million times since. But the point is, Gary, that year, once the World Series was set, where he had both wrong teams to be there, he was on the wrong side of both teams. Then when the World Series was set, he made a video saying I would be wrong and why the Indians were going to beat the Cubs. And he was talking all big when it went to Game 7. And and then he said that he said it was because of the rain delay. Remember, there was a rain delay in that game. He said the rain delay changed the outcome. I was like, dude, the outcome was going to be the Cubs in 108 years all along in the city, where the biggest building's 108 stories, and all of these sports are credited to masons, builders, and modern Freemasonry falls under the Jesuit umbrella. That's who really runs the show. But, you got goons out there charging people thousands of dollars for this knowledge that aren't nearly as good at it. I do it for $5 a month, and for a long time I did it for totally free. But I do it for $5 a month because I'm actually trying to help people out. Not rob them, sharing knowledge. $5 is next to free. And again, honestly, if you're going to gamble on this, I know you got $5 to share per month for the knowledge. So it's a tiny tip. And I mean, you guys ever listen to my show? People call in and say they want a tip. I always say the same thing to them. I'm like, you don't need to send me a tip. Your $5 a month is enough. I didn't get into this for money, but we do need resources to get the word out there because of all the censorship and everything. Realize that's when I started raising money, was in the age of censorship and the age of getting deleted, shut down, book banned. I mean, there's got to be resources to get the word out. There's a lot of forces that work against this knowledge every day, a gang of paid-for trolls that harass the entire community. And again, I ask for a modest donation to learn, monumental knowledge that really has the power to wake up the people of the world. So, but yeah, you guys, I mean, the countdown, you better wake up too, man. That's what they are doing. They're counting down on us. Rituals by the numbers, rituals by the dates. Again, if you're new here, the Jesuits gave us the calendar we're on from the Catholic Church, and this language also comes from the Catholic Church, and all of these things were synced up in the 16th century, and history's been this way ever since, by a code repeating itself. Again, every day, just headlines, Notice how they do it too. Amalgam Virgo, right? 119. Operation Amalgam Virgo 119, synced up with September 11th, in the time of Virgo. If you've ever seen Rambo's work on 9/11 and Mercury, amalgam, the definition, an alloy of mercury. Mercury's the god of transportation, vehicles flying into buildings. Rambo always does really brilliant work on Mercury and 9/11. Amalgam Virgo, you guys. I mean, come on, man. It's the language, it's astrology, it's the calendar, it's the code. And again, June 1st is when it went down, 102 days before 9/11, 102 minutes that changed America. The upcoming season of 911 is going to release on September 20th this year, the day leaving 102 days left in the year. It's season 5. Season 5. Remember how, besides New York, the other thing that got hit on 9/11 was the 5-sided Pentagon, where construction began on the Pentagon September 11th, 1941. 5-sided building, Pentagon, 5-acre court in the middle, 5 floors above ground. Washington Monument, 555 feet tall. If you missed the video I just did on Gematria Effect News about the upcoming season of 911 and how it's about a Los Angeles blackout. And remember, earlier this year we said why there'd be blackouts on Valentine's Day, synced up with the Public Enemy, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down album. Go back and watch that video, you guys. The trailer released on the 201st day of the year for the blackout in LA, 201, 102, reflections of each other, the Jesuit Order 201. By the way, Jewish Gematria, where Al-Qaeda's 102. Jewish Gematria, Tisha B'Av equals 9/11. The day to remember the destruction of the 2 temples. Jihadist, division, Vatican Hill, Al-Qaeda terrorist attack. What are the odds that all those things are 9/11, huh? It's the Jesuits, you guys. Amalgam Virgo, Society of Jesus. Osama bin Laden's dad died on a 79 date numerology. September 3rd, 1967. Yeah, that simulation ended on June 2nd. It went June 1st, June 2nd. The day leaving 212 days left in the year. New York area code. 153rd day of the year. Jesuit order. Yeah, it's something else, man. You see how terrorism and Jesuit order are both 54? Osama bin Laden died on his 54th day of being 54 years old. Today's the 54-year anniversary of his dad dying in a plane crash, and you get terrorism in New Zealand synced up with the mosque shootings, Christianity, Islam, like 9/11. The countdown, they got bigger wars planned, you guys. They got plans to depopulate. War's one of those biggest plans. Don't doubt what I'm saying. Look up the Georgia Guidestones. It's etched in stone. They got plans to get rid of a lot of people, and war's a good way to do that. So is biological warfare, like they taught us they did to the natives of this country. See what they got for us on Christopher Columbus Day this year. We'll leave it there for now. For all of you guys who were expecting me to do a stream today, I apologize. I'm going to do it bright and early tomorrow before the games. I'm going to spruce up these notes for tomorrow's games. We'll be up a few hours before the games start. And we'll see if we can find ourselves some more winners for tomorrow. So if you guys aren't signed up on the Patreon, the link's in the description, patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. YouTube made it so the link doesn't work. So just do a search. Go into Google and type in Patreon Zachary K. Hubbard, and you'll find the link. Google's does such a great job of making it so, nothing that I link works. Just another form of censorship. But, or wait a month, because I'm telling you, I already know in a month I'll be doing better than I will be doing now. I know the way the game is. Been doing it too many years not to know, so. But again, you wait a month, you'll miss out on some gems like this. You would have already paid for way more than your $5 subscription. You had Virginia Tech tonight, you know what I mean? We'll leave it there. See you tomorrow. Till next time, Truth Seeker.